visit our website at crackingyourmoneycode.com. I'm Heather Wagenhouse. Go out and unlock your wealth today.
Welcome to the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar radio program.
Raw and uncut, Jiggy Jag, you know how you do it. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it all the way live.
Broadcasting live from Hutchinson, Kansas.
Well, I'm sitting here with the linguist. I had no idea. I love you were, but I didn't know that you were a wordsmith.
Call Jiggy right now. 267-22-JIGGY.
Steady money.
Hey, Jiggy, what's happening, man? Reminds me of that David Bowie song. Jiggy play guitar. It's a great name, man. Thanks so much for having me on the show.
Presenting
I'm Mike Massey, and you can catch me on Jiggy Jag TV and see a few of my trick shots there. Thanks very much.
Jiggy Jaguar.
I never knew what freedom was until I saw you lose yours.
Welcome to hour number 3 of the world-famous Jiggy Jaguar radio program, coast to coast and border to border on TuneIn, iTunes, Radio Loyalty, Stitcher, and, of course, 50-plus AM/FM stations across the country and around the world. And special edition today on iHeartRadio. We're going to be getting to our big guest. Of course, it's Big Guest Thursday, and that means each and every Thursday we talk to a big guest from the world of politics, sports, pop culture, media, and today this guy covers all of them. So we're going to be talking to Lanny Poffo here in a few moments. Fantastic stuff coming up today here on our program. Tomorrow, be sure to join us. We're going to be talking to Josh Bernstein from AMAC and also a few other guests, and, of course, our good friend Richard Kurtz from Strategies PR. But without further ado, let's get to Big Guest Thursday. Today, we're going to be talking to a pro wrestler. He's talking about President Obama. His brand new video up. It's online. Former WWE superstar Lanny Poffo takes President Obama and Hillary Clinton to task on some of their decisions. We've put that link on our website at jiggyjaguar.com. We played the video earlier today. Let's go to the telephones. Without further ado, I introduce Lanny Poffo. How are you, sir?
I am the genius full of glory and renown, and I'm still living in the past.
As they say in the world of professional wrestling, I'm marking out right now. We've got Lanny Poffo with us today, and Lanny, tell me a little bit about President Obama, Hillary Clinton, all this fun stuff. Let's take this first segment today and talk about this video that got posted and some of your thoughts on the current political landscape, my friend.
Okay, well, do you know this guy named Sean Penn that sues you if you mention that he beat his wife?
Yes, I've heard of him a few times. He's been brought up on the show a few times.
Yeah, I see him on the Academy Awards and at the Emmys and wherever else he can get some face time. And he always takes a swipe at whatever political candidate that is not a socialist.
Yeah.
So I had an opportunity to do that, but I had far too much class. I inducted my brother into the WWE Hall of Fame on March 28th.
Yep.
And I had an audience of millions upon millions. And I decided, even though Randy would have probably loved me to take a swipe at Obama that day, I decided not to because I think a great speech is about one thing and one thing only, and I didn't want to use that forum as a sounding board. In other words, I didn't want to be like Sean Penn. I think it's very wise in your life to see what he does and do the opposite. So I decided I would wait until I could just go on YouTube, and then I would have my own audience that I could build. And I hope it goes viral because I'm very, very serious about the limericks that I spouted.
Well, I'll tell you, that is the one thing that I have loved about you forever, and that is that you really do all these poems and all these things that you don't have some writer. You're doing it all yourself.
That's true. Andre was really a giant, and Jake was really a snake, and I really wrote my own poem.
It's absolutely amazing. We've got Lanny Poffo with us today. If you want to get more information on our guest, go to his official website, geniuslannypoffo.com. And you mentioned earlier that you inducted Randy into the WWE Hall of Fame. One of the things over the years that has been talked about in regards to that is one of Randy's last wishes was to have the entire family in the Hall of Fame. Why did that not happen? And it was mostly you getting up there and inducting him instead of you, your legendary father, and of course yourself going in there.
Well, about 6 months after Randy passed away, I got a phone call from John Laurinaitis, representing WWE, and he asked me how I felt about Randy going in the Hall of Fame in Miami.
Yeah.
And I told him that Randy's wishes were that the whole family, that's Macho Man Randy Savage, Angelo Poffo, and even me, the genius, Lanny Poffo, were going to go in all three together or nothing. And evidently that didn't get over. So they had they had the Hall of Fame without the Poffo family.
Yeah.
And the next year in Madison Square Garden, the same. And then I'll tell you what, you see, I'm going to be 61 in December. And when I turn 60, you would think that would be the big birthday for me. Turning 60 is a big deal.
Yeah.
But not for me. My biggest deal was turning 59 because it occurred to me that Randy lived to be 58 and a half, and I was finally the older brother. And because, let's face it, all my life, I love my brother, but all my life I said, Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. In my case, it was Macho, Macho, Macho.
Macho. Exactly.
So I said to myself, I said, I'm the older brother now. That means I get to make all the unpopular decisions.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I like Star Trek, okay, but I'm not like a crazy nut about Star Trek.
Yes.
I'm not like Big Bang Theory about it. I don't go to every Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do enjoy Star Trek, and I remember the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one. So I said, what's more important, the last wishes of the Macho Man or the needs and wishes of the Macho fan? And if it wasn't for the fans, we wouldn't have been anything anyway. So I said to myself, I've got to go with the majority. I got to get Randy in the Hall of Fame. And in a way, I've killed his gimmick because, look at it this way, now the fans have nothing to complain about.
That's right. That's right, because the fans have gotten everybody that they wanted in there. They wanted the Ultimate Warrior, they wanted Macho Man, they wanted Bruno Sammartino. They're all in there.
Yeah, we got to get Owen Hart in next.
Yes, and I've heard rumors that may happen, that they may just go ahead and as I know that his widow is violently against this, but I understand that there's been some things behind the scenes that they may just go ahead and just put him in this year, and I guess just deal with the lawsuit and the backlash for whatever that is. We've got Lanny Poffo with us today, better known by his ring names Leaping Lanny and the Genius. And, of course, he's with us today here on our big broadcast, Coast to Coast and Border to Border Big Guest Thursday. Now, looking back on your professional wrestling career, you have done a heck of a lot. You were one of these guys that was way before your time. Looking back at some of your older matches, you did a moonsault in some of these things before they were cool.
Well, everybody thinks I invented the moonsault. Well, let me clarify that.
Okay.
I invented the moonsault immediately after I saw Tiger Mask do it in Japan.
Ah.
So, in other words, I'm not going to take credit for inventing the moonsault. But
Yeah.
I was the first person to bring it to Madison Square Garden.
That's cool. Now. Go ahead, Lanny.
Really raised the bar, so it makes me look like I was in slow motion.
Now, your early wrestling career in the 70s and the NWA territories, wrestling in your father's promotion, ICW. Tell us about professional wrestling then, as it is a, compare and contrast that to what they're doing nowadays.
Well, there were some similarities back then to what they're doing nowadays. Either way, you have to entertain the people, otherwise they're not going to come back.
Yeah.
So well, why would you? Okay? And in other words, if it isn't fun anymore, you're not going to do it anymore. You're not a masochist, and you only have so much disposable income. So, you have a choice between, basketball, football, baseball, or even putting quarters into a Pac-Man game. So, in other words, if we don't capture the imagination of the people, it's amazing. Even if you have a sellout crowd, if it's not just right, they won't come back. It's just I see more similarities than changes. I think the athletes are better now. I give them credit for being bigger, stronger, and faster. Unfortunately, they have a handicap, and that is they have writers now.
Yeah.
Now, there was never a writer. Great men like Roddy Piper, Jim the Hacksaw Duggan, Jake the Snake Roberts, Macho Man Randy Savage. They did their own thing. They went on TV. You told them what to say, and then you sat back and were surprised on the wonderful way that they said it. And now they get it all cookie cutter with all these writers, and you can tell that they're reading. You can tell that they're, just trying to.
It all sounds like one person's voice, essentially.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And, that's when I wish it would just go. In other words, it's not the fault of the wrestlers. It's because they're handicapped by what you call micromanagement.
Oh yeah, a lot of micromanagement. We got the genius with us today, Lanny Poffo. He is making headlines once again on YouTube by sending out a special message to President Obama and Mrs. Clinton. And speaking of what you were just talking about there with writers, what would have been the reaction if someone would have back in the day when the genius was in WWE and you were managing Kurt Hennig and doing all the things that you were doing, if someone would have walked up to you and said, okay, whatever poem you've written tonight, throw that out. We have this one that we've written. What would have been your reaction to something like that, Lanny?
Well, I'm a prostitute, so if the price was right, I would read that poem as if it was my own.
Okay.
There were many things. There were many things that I did that I didn't like. For example, if I were the booker as well, I would have been numerous champions, right in the top.
Oh yeah.
But I was forced to lose to people that I thought I should have beaten, and then all of a sudden in 1989 on NBC, I defeat the legendary Hulk Hogan on Saturday night's main event. So I've got selective amnesia. I only want to remember the match with Hogan.
Now, what was that like when you had been beaten by several people, like you were saying, that you probably should have beat, and then they come to you and they go, hey, we got this idea. How does that go down?
Well, I had a poker face. I pretended not to be excited. But the thing is, you just said you marking out?
Yes.
I was marking out. I said, wow, I'm just I was Cool Hand Luke in person, but inside I was going, yes! And, the thing is, I refuse to not be grateful for Hulk Hogan for what he did for me. And, recently he's under a lot of attacks.
Oh, yeah.
Of his racist rants and his homophobia and everything. And I was on Fox News, and they asked me about him, and I said I refuse to pull out my friendship from Hulk Hogan, and I just think I definitely know that he's not a racist and he's not a homophobe.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I aspire to be one half the humanitarian Hulk Hogan is.
Oh yeah, because before John Cena came along, I understand Hulk Hogan had the record for Make-A-Wish visits and all sorts of things in the humanitarian world.
You're absolutely right, but I'm going to say one thing, and I mean it sincerely. Nobody gave more than my brother to those less fortunate. Nobody.
Yeah, I remember seeing a clip way back in the day that he that Randy was either the most he either won an award for the most Make-A-Wish fulfillments, or he was the most requested, or some getting some award from Make-A-Wish or one of those organizations.
Yes, but he would do things when he didn't get awards, and he would do things when there was no publicity.
Yeah.
He did things on his own, in the dark, and absolutely no credit for it. In other words, he wasn't there for the publicity. He believed in noblesse oblige. He believed that it was his place, since he had been given so much. To whom much is given, much is expected.
Yeah.
And he was a champion of the underdog. And but Hulk Hogan did a lot too, and I'm not comparing him.
Oh, no,
I'm just
no.
saying, the Macho Man had a lot of energy, and he had no biological children of his own.
Yeah.
So he was always a good uncle to my daughter and a good father to his wife's 2 daughters from a previous marriage.
Yeah.
But it was his relationship with the Special Olympics that filled that.
That's what it was. It was the Special Olympics. I knew there was an organization that Randy was very involved in. It was the Special Olympics. They did a lot of things and still are doing a lot of things. I know that he really liked the Special Olympics and being involved in that organization. What was that because of the child aspect, because he didn't have any children of his own?
Well, I don't know what it was, but I do remember one thing. It was, I believe, March 19th, 2009. The President of the United States was a guest on The Tonight Show starring Jay Leno. And not only did our President make fun of the Special Olympics, he got away with it. And that was the purpose of my video, because nobody remembers it. And I'm here to bring it out that the President is an arrogant fool. And we have forgotten that.
Yeah.
And he's worried about his legacy now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, Lanny, you're not a kidding on that. He's into full mode on trying to fix that legacy that he wants to leave.
And socialism is a fantastic thing. I've been to Venezuela. I'd like to show you how good socialism is. Because that place, they turned it into a mausoleum.
Wow. Really?
Really, yes. Yes. So the free market capitalism is what has taken more people out of poverty and hopelessness than any other system. It's not perfect, but the thing is, the President Barack Hussein Obama wants to fundamentally transform the United States of America.
He said that on many occasions.
Yes, and I resent him and the idiots who voted for him. So take some calls.
We've got Lanny Poffo with us today. He joins us here on our big broadcast, Big Guest Thursday at 16 minutes after the hour, and we're talking about a video that was posted fairly recently by Mr. Poffo about Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. It's come out the last couple days that Barack Obama has, I guess he's the one that's kind of spearheading this whole takedown of Hillary. What have you heard? Because I know that you're very politically involved. What do you think of the recent scandals and everything with Hillary?
I think he's trying to push Joe Biden, so he can have a legacy.
Yep.
And I just feel I don't know what I'm trying to. If everybody asks me who would I vote for, but my answer, I keep my cards on the table. I would vote for. Um, I'm gonna wait until all the debates are over, and I'm gonna wait until it's time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very interested in looking at the debates. You know, everybody's going crazy for Donald Trump, and you know, then Dr. Ben Carson is coming up on the rearview mirror.
Yeah.
He's being attacked by the zealous idiots that have found reason to attack him. And then Carly Fiorina has been beautiful on debates. You know, just amazing.
Yeah, what do you think of Carly's style of debating, Lanny?
If I had to debate her, I wouldn't sleep a wink before that. You know, she vivisects you with razor blades.
She was left out of that first Fox News debate. She was put on in the pre-debate, and then she somehow, I guess, earned her way into the big show. Kind of give me your thoughts on where you see her going in this whole process as we narrow things down in the Republican Party.
Well, if she doesn't win, I'd like to see somebody put her on the ticket, like for vice president.
Yeah.
Because that would nullify Hillary's "I'm a woman, vote for me."
Yes.
or Dr. Ben Carson. You know, I'm because let's have another African American.
That's right. That's right.
But here's a man that's actually accomplished something besides being a community organizer.
Oh yeah, Dr. Carson is amazing. He is, and he continues to speak his mind. And I know that a lot of the mainstream media and the liberal media just don't like him because he keeps speaking his mind. And he's a very articulate individual. What are your thoughts on Dr. Carson?
Well, I've actually bought a couple of his books, and I think he's tremendous. And you know, there's so much. I love Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
I tell you, sometimes I define myself as a quasi-libertarian, and I really liked Ron Paul, but Rand Paul has disappointed me with his performances in the debate.
That's what I was. That was my next question for you, because I get the impression that you're sort of libertarian leaning. Ron Paul was a real strong libertarian and was a real strong in that movement. And Rand Paul seems to not want to embrace that movement, and I don't understand why, because he's got the opportunity here to gain some of his dad's votes, and good example of what you just said right there with, you know, he's not his dad, essentially.
No. And you know something, if you were going to be seen by 25 million people on a debate, why would you comb your hair with an egg beater?
And that's a shoot. We've got Lanny Poffo with us today. You may know him as Leaping Lanny Poffo, the genius. He is the as he said eloquently earlier, the older brother of now of the Macho Man Randy Savage. Lanny, over the years, as far as politics and things have gone, how did we get to the point where we have someone like a Donald Trump running for president?
Well, it's because he was the constituency is so angry and so feels so let down by all our fearless leaders that here's a man that speaks his mind, does not go for the politically correct, you know, the PC Gestapo, and then says anything he wants, including you're ugly and you're dumb and you're a loser. You're a loser. So, you know, and people enjoy it, okay? But as it gets closer to election day, the effervescence may wear out, and that's what they keep, you know, that's what they keep saying.
Yeah.
but he may have tapped into the part of the populace that is completely feels disenfranchised, let's say.
Yeah.
I thought that he would be done when he criticized John McCain.
Oh, yeah.
And he wasn't a hero. I said, "Oh, this is over."
Yeah, I figured at some point he would do much like, and this is something I want to get your thoughts on too, in regards to some of the different things in politics and even with the Hulk Hogan situation, like you brought up earlier. But before we do that, I want to address that there. Why didn't that happen? Why didn't he? It seemed like he just got stronger, and more people were like, "Oh, okay, well, it's not a big deal." Why did that not hurt him? Because I know there was a lot of political people on the right and the left and even in the middle, and even with you, that thought, we're done. He's insulted a war hero. We're done.
Oh yeah, it was. I'll tell you what. We laughingly refer to me as the genius. I did write my own poetry. I am not a genius. I am just a person who loves this country and wants the best for it.
Yeah.
And if I were running for president, if I were going to get into an argument with Senator John McCain, in no way would I besmirch his heroics.
Oh yeah.
In combat. I graduated high school in 1973, and I'm a Canadian-born American citizen, and I was going to use that to get out of my Vietnamese duty.
Wow.
I cannot point a finger at John McCain. I wouldn't dare.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a good look to basically besmirch his service to try to get over on the guy, essentially.
No, John McCain is a hero. I am not a hero.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I will salute him, and even if I don't agree with John McCain, I would never put my foot in my mouth like that. And I cannot believe he got away with it. Trump got away with it.
Oh yeah.
And then I look at the next poll numbers, and he's gaining. And I said, well, was this poll taken before the insult? And they said, no, it's after. And I said, then I don't know anything about human nature. How can you possibly?
See, that's the thing. It's like we're living in crazy town, Lanny.
Yeah.
It is absolutely strange thing. At 25 minutes after the hour, we've got Lanny Poffo with us today. He has made headlines fairly recently with a video that he's put out about President Obama and Hillary Clinton, talking politics, talking professional wrestling today. It's Big Guest Thursday. One thing I want to get your thoughts on, and that was kind of dovetails into what we were just talking about. Why is it anymore when except for Trump, I guess, when you offend someone or you do something offensive, everyone always has to apologize, and then they just have to go away. And kind of like with the Hulk Hogan situation, he made a mistake, he apologized for it, and then it was like, okay, you've apologized, now you have to go away. And this happens a lot in politics and news. Why is this the way that we've come into the United States here, Lanny?
Oh, you're asking me why. I have no idea why. I just hate it. And,
yeah.
My daughter's my daughter's 31 years old. I am divorced. She lived in Lexington, Kentucky. She visits me. I visit her.
Yeah.
And she's married. We have no grandchildren yet. And my mother is still alive, and she's going to be 89.
Wow.
And I was considering expatriating myself, because I cannot stand what's happening to this United States of America we're living in.
Yeah.
That the slow undoing of our human rights. And I took 2 trips to Ecuador. I've been around. I'm looking at different places. I'm on the internet. I'm seeing where I could go, and I came to this conclusion. as bad as we are, we're still the best. And I'm going to stay right here.
See, that's the spirit, my friend. That's the spirit. We've got Leap and Lanny Poffo with us today here in our broadcast, talking about politics, talking about some of the current mainstream news, different things going on. Lanny, you're one of these guys that gets it. You're not influenced by the mainstream media, by some of these crazies on the internet. You have a level head on your shoulders. Is it because you're constantly educating yourself on the different issues of the day? Why don't you just fall into the trap that everybody else seems to fall into?
Well, my father and my brother, Macho Man, they both voted for Barack Obama in 2012. And you know why?
Holy smokes, why is that?
Because my father died in 2010 and my brother died in 2011. That's why they voted for Obama in 2012. Well, what I'm trying to
He's
say
got
is-
jokes, people. He's got jokes. Go, Lanny, go.
I just believe in, that's why they want to have this, anybody can vote. You're a racist if you don't let people vote.
That's right.
Well, I believe that there is voter fraud, and that's why I made a little joke, at the expense of my father and my brother. They would never have voted even once for Barack Obama.
See, this is the thing. From the stuff that I understand about your father, real old school kind of guy, real cut and dry guy from back in the day. I wouldn't have, I think if he was still alive and he was seeing some of the things that was going on, his hair would just catch on fire.
Oh, definitely. And, of course, the Macho Man, he was quite an alpha male himself.
Yes.
Now, listen, I come from a long line of, trust me, I was the baby in the family, and now I'm not. And, people are saying, why did you do that on YouTube? And I said, hey, just give me credit for not doing it at the Hall of Fame.
Oh my God! What? Talk about people's hair lighting on fire. Vince McMahon's hair would have lit on fire.
Oh, I would have been like Forrest Gump.
Yes.
They would have pulled my plug, and I
Oh.
would have been just, like, what happened to the sound?
That's right. They would have killed your mic, brother. What happened? We've got
And then they would,
yes.
They would have got Rikishi to sit on my face.
Oh, that too.
Trust me, that's a fake worse than death. Right?
We've got Lanny Poffo with us today. He joins us live here on the telephone. I've got a couple more questions for you, my friend. Actually, I've got 3 more questions for you, and then we'll let you go. I appreciate you being with us today, by the way. One, centering on, I was doing some research on you before we came on. I understand at one point in WCW, you worked for them for a little bit. You were never on TV, and at one point, they were going to give you the Gorgeous George gimmick. How did this whole thing come about? Or is this just some internet thing?
Okay, I'm glad I'm here to clear it up for you.
Okay.
You want me to swear in?
You're good. You're good. You get a pass, my friend. You get a pass.
Okay, I get a phone call in the middle of the night. He goes, hello. And I said, hello? This is Randy. I didn't know that.
That's right.
Listen, I got an idea. How would you like to be Gorgeous George? And I said, tell me more. He says, I want you to work out, suntan, get yourself in shape, bleach your hair blonde, and, I want you to buy costumes from Michael and Tony. That was his, that's who made his costumes.
Yeah.
And So I started training. I started, like I hate to say it, saying my prayers, eating my vitamins, blah blah blah.
Yes.
And let me just tell you something that I'm not proud of. I took human growth hormone because the steroids weren't legal then, and I needed to, I was in my early 40s now, and
Yeah.
I wasn't looking too good.
Well,
So,
the one thing about that is that you probably took them and did them in a safe manner, and you cycled on and cycled off. It probably wasn't like some of this craziness that goes on here today.
Well, I want to say thank you and yes, but some of my greatest regrets now is that I ever took steroids and I ever took human growth hormone, because right now I'm on a diet of greens, onions, mushrooms, beans, berries, and seeds. And I really believe in all my heart that the three most important things in life are health, wealth, and freedom.
Yes.
But health comes first. If I gave you $3 million in cancer, would you take it? I don't think so.
Nope.
You see what I mean?
Yep.
So I am ashamed of the fact that I took steroids and I took human growth hormone, but I don't want to lie to the people.
Oh, yeah.
And, And besides, if I can convince one person to not do that, it's worth it, even if I lessen my reputation. Anyway, I bleach my hair, I go in the sun tanning bed, I work out, I do everything I can, I buy costumes, and I waited for the phone to ring. The phone never rings. And the reason it never rang, they used to have too many chiefs and not enough Indians in the booking committee. There wasn't one booker.
Yes.
There was like a booking committee of 10 or 12 people. And, everybody has an idea, and one idea goes for a couple of yards, and the other idea gets down. But just remember, I couldn't be the genius, but I did make brains, I throw mine away. He defeated billionaire Ted Turner.
Yep.
And he defeated a federal grand jury.
Yes.
And, you got to give him credit.
Yes. So,
the Gorgeous George, by the way, the Gorgeous George thing, if they had given me a chance, it would have probably failed anyway. Because while I was bleaching my hair and trying to look like Gorgeous George, what I wound up looking like the Scarecrow on The Wizard of Oz.
That's a scary sight.
Yes, I'm afraid my hair bleached, it's fried, and it died. And it started falling out. So
wow.
Now I have dark brown hair with wisps of silver.
Yeah.
And, everybody says, "Are you going to cover that up?" I said, "Nope, I am. I'm not going to try to." Of course, Vince McMahon called me and said, "Lanny, you got to get rid of that silver." I would, but on my own, I won't.
That's right. Well, see, there's been rumors for a long time that when Kevin Nash came back to WWE television, that they slid a bottle of Just for Men in front of him, and he was like, "Okay." Because he knew he was going to get a check. But we've got Lanny Poffo with us today. He joins us live here on the telephone, and we announced we were going to have you on Big Guest Thursday. We got a series of emails, a series of Facebook and Twitter questions. Some of them were all just trolls and people like that. But one that did stand out to me, we got a message from someone who wanted to know if you had any memories of your time in your dad's promotion, ICW, and also if you had any good memories of working with Chris Colt. Colt seemed like a fascinating figure, and I'd love to hear any stories that Lanny has about him.
Well, Chris Colt is probably, in my opinion, the greatest talent that never really made it.
Yeah.
Okay? He's become now a trivia question. One of the problems that he had was he was a fan of Janis Joplin, and which is okay. I mean, I love Janis Joplin too, but she died at 27, and if you become a fan of Janis Joplin, that's one thing, but if you emulate her or or Jimi Hendrix or anybody
Yeah.
in the rock and roll group, you know, it's going to shorten your life.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't smoke, drink, or do drugs. I am a born-again bachelor, and I am trying to live my life as I see fit, and do unto others before they do unto me. No, I'm just kidding. You know, golden rule. And but Chris Colt was an excellent tag team partner, but he was his own worst enemy because he got into drugs pretty seriously.
Yeah.
And he was just something about him. He just wasn't a happy guy, but what a performer. And, you know, I'm sure that the person who asked the question knows how great he was, but I'm sure that everybody else is going, Chris who? Trust me, this guy was fantastic and phenomenal, and he taught me a lot.
Yeah. We've got the genius Lanny Poffo with us today. Check out geniuslannypoffo.com. And Lanny, it's been an interesting conversation. I've enjoyed talking politics with you. Enjoyed talking with you about professional wrestling. I'm a huge fan of yours. So this has been quite the cool little thing to do today. I do also, as we go down in the debates and everything here, and we whittle things down, I would love to get a hold of you from time to time and have you back on to talk about some of the different political issues of the day, if you're cool with that.
Oh, I'm always cool with that. And there once was a man named Barack. He lied to his gullible flock. Yes, we can keep our doctor in plan. Affordable care, what a crock. He calls it the law of the land. He's drawing red lines in the sand. His socialist crooks are cooking the books. Single payer comes next. Understand? He promised to balance the debt, a promise he chose to forget. If you pardon my French, his deficit trench puts all of us in la toilette. Not a smidgen of scandal or shame besmirches Obama's good name. He's making it clear the buck that stops here means President Truman's to blame. With a sickening smirk on TV, he sets Gitmo terrorists free. Ignoring the crisis, he's battling ISIS by calling them names like JB. His Benghazi excuses were fake. A video, give me a break. Political sluts always cover their butts. What difference does Hillary make? What difference does Hillary make? What difference does Hillary make? What difference at this point? What difference at that point? What difference does Hillary make?
Fantastic. Lanny Poffo with us today. Lanny, have yourself a wonderful afternoon, sir, and I will be in touch. Thanks for being with us today, man.
Thank you so much, and in the words of Charles Dickens, God bless us, everyone.
Thank you, Lanny. Have yourself a wonderful Thursday. Thanks, man. Lanny Poffo with us today, the fantastic Lanny Poffo. We're going to take a time out and be back with more here on the big broadcast. And if you want to get more information, check out geniuslannypoffo.com. We'll be back with more here on our program.